What up, my children of the corn? This is Alex, Psycho Alex, your psycho host from Shenanigans and More, and welcome to Shenanigans and More again. I appreciate you guys, all the 4 views I have on most of my videos. Just kidding. Shout out to all of my supporters. I love you guys. Poopy and Scoopy, I love you guys. You guys are always watching my videos. I appreciate so much. Shout out to Gotti, who, even though she doesn't actually watch them, she just plays it for the views. I appreciate the support. Now, life, man, it's crazy, right? Shit happens all the fucking time, and we are here. But as far as this episode is gonna be quite interesting, only because I didn't ask most people for their responses. I'm taking it all on my personal intake or view as to what's going on, and like how we feel in society about a lot of things. Now, it may stir something up, and why not? I don't want to be attacked, obviously, for my views and what I think and what how I go about this episode. But I want to stir something up as far as conversation. Like, let's talk about this. Let's identify the real problems. It's not even like a real problem. Well, yeah, it is a real problem. But let's identify. The episode's not just based on that, but let's identify things that I just, talking about this with someone just blew up my mind. Like, just gave me a whole view as to things that we don't talk about. We just, like, how can I explain it? We're just so blinded. We just see things and this is our view. Okay? Like, we were taught this way, and whether things are changing and the what's going on in society, and people just like need more support and need more open-mindedness about everything that's going on, and we're still very blind based on things that we were taught when we were little, based on things that like have been passed on through generations. Enough about all the blab, and let me tell you guys what today's episode is. Today's episode is do women mature sooner than men, and why? Whether it's girls or boys, and women and men. And it's just not just talking about like physically, because that can be scientifically proven, I believe, but also emotionally, like responsibly, just like all the things that come with being a woman compared to the things that come with being a man. And as far as growing up, like boys, I have only one sibling, in case you guys don't remember, or like ever heard me say it, but I feel like our parents were we're kind of equal as far as like gender roles at home. Like, we still kind of had to do everything together. We were both assigned to clean, we were both given chores, we were both to do our laundries when we were real young, actually, compared to a lot of people that I know. I don't even know how to do their own laundry, and they're adults. Hint, my ex. But as far as like, I'm talking about, like, I feel like it had to do maybe because we didn't have a dad. Like, our dad wasn't really around to have that whole, like, well, he wasn't, I feel like in a way, he is a little machista, but I feel like in a way my dad was also very open-minded, and he was also kind of the person who taught my mom to be a little bit more open-minded, as far as, like, what was expected of us, as a boy and as a girl. So, but my intake is, yes, for sure, women mature faster, not just like as young girls, but like in society and stuff like that. It's gonna open a can of worms of things that we just like can talk about forever. But I don't want to make this episode entirely long, so that is why I decided to only take my opinion and let you guys fight in the comments. Or you can always, like I said before, message me on Instagram at shenanigans and more _. Anne is a letter Anne. Um, so my point of view is yes, women in all cultures, but not all women, mature faster based on science, but also on the emotional level because of the cultural or gender roles expectations. What do I mean with that? Is that, for example, I have a younger brother, and when even though we were raised by a single mother, with very similar equal expectations, like I mentioned, um, I was forced to grow up faster and replace my father role in my family. Or perhaps that was how I saw it based on what was expected of me. I was not only responsible for my brother, but also for the family at age 9. Now, um, my parents splitting was kind of difficult, obviously, like any child would have a hard time, but it was like an irreconcilable differences. Like there was no way they were going to get back together, and that for a 9-year-old was really difficult to understand, especially when mom started dating. Um so and dad was just completely gone out of the picture, so it was not like I could see him dating other people and that it would affect me, or that I would understand that it was actually happening, but anyway, scientifically, I was also a young lady by age 11. Well, my brother didn't hit puberty until maybe 13, I think. I may be wrong. By 11, I had to worry about how I dressed, how I sat, and my body language. I had women problems by then, while all my brother's worries, what would worry was about his next um, adventure to get in trouble, or rip his pants, or next toy that we could get. um, Not always, but at times, at the age of 13, I had to worry for feeding us or keeping us safe while my mom worked. And although some boys might have that role or responsibility as well, the eldest sibling kind of responsibility of being the parent, um, most are socially expected to focus on school, sports, girls, and parties. And let's be honest, like, if you have 3 children where the eldest is a boy and the second is a girl, you're most likely in our family gonna see that the second one will take the responsibility of the eldest just because she's a girl, and is expected to take care of the younger ones, or is expected to make food and to take that parent role in the family, especially with immigrant families where both parents have to work in order for the rest of the family to be okay. So that's what I see in my eyes, from my point of view, because not just based on my adventure, my experiences, but also like my community, my friends, my families. Like, we all kind of had to take those roles and those responsibilities so early on. And like I mentioned, it can and has possibly taken a few dudes to do the same, but I feel like it is just simply socially expected and gender role expected for it to be the girl who takes on the responsibility and emotional maturity to do all these things, and to evolve that way. Um, so not saying there aren't expectations with the girls and vice versa, but it's true. The gender role established by so many generations have to do with how we are raised and expected to handle life. And in this case, women mature faster, not to mention the gender role toys. This is one of the things that in my conversation with my friend, I just really got like heated about. He wasn't disagreeing with me, by the way. It's just that those that teach a little girl how to be nurturing and motherly, while boys are shamed for playing with the role of parent, not mother, but parent. So my thing is, I've seen people who don't let their boys play with baby dolls because that's a girl toy. But then when they grow up, we expect them to know how to be fathers. Does that make sense? We don't allow them to experience when they're playing how to be a father, and we do allow girls to play with toys and how to be a mother, but when they grow up, we want them to have that connection with their babies, or understand what the woman is expecting of them when they're grown, when they have no idea how to be fathers, when they have no idea how to be nurturing and how to share, or like even play house, even though it's their baby. Like, that's what to me makes no sense. The whole emotional connection too. Like, we don't allow boys to hurt themselves and cry, or to be hurt because of a heartbreak when they're young, and explain to them and teach them how to evolve those emotions and how to, feel them, but also let go of them. And then when they're grown, they're having multiple issues with their partners because they like this girl, they want to be in a relationship with this person, but yet um they don't know how because they were never taught. So that's my thing to me on like being able to teach our boys as well as our girls equally, and emotionally equally too. Like, boys should be allowed to cry, and boys should be allowed to feel and understand what their emotions mean, and understand that it's okay to have emotions and to just like let them flow and share them with people they trust, and like none of this fucking like making fun of them because they're nancies or pansies or whatever the fuck do people call them, like because they feel emotions. Like, kids should be able to um, grow emotionally and mature emotionally at a certain level depending on their age, but they should also just like learn how to deal with that. Because then you have men who are emotionally frustrated and can't tell you they love you, or can't tell you that they are going through something, and instead just do a tantrum, because that's what I call them, and get mad and completely disappear from your life because it's too much for them. And it's too much for them because they were never taught how to go through their emotions. And that's why women mature faster emotionally and responsibly, because of fucking gender roles too, that they need to be crushed. It doesn't even we're all human, we all feel, we all should like be able to process our emotions and be able to like just know what to do when you have emotions, like know they can go to someone, at least one parent, one friend, one grandma, one grandpa, who they can go and talk about these things and be able to, like, I think that's another reason why so many people like don't understand the whole of a transgender child, because like they're so like believed that a kid can't understand that, and a kid won't know that for sure. It's their parents that are brainwashing them. No, one of the things that I always asked like I asked people when someone I love truly like came out as bisexual, and she's a young teen right now, and since she was little, like she kind of knew, not kind of, like she knew. But one of the things that I asked like people when I found out about this, and in our family we had like people who were like shaming her or like confused about it, and I was like, do you remember your first crush? Because I do. Like, your first real crush. Not like when you're 13 and you can kiss now and you're growing. I don't know if you guys kissed on when you were 13, but because I did. But was it my first kiss? But I mean, like when you first like started liking someone and didn't understand why you liked them, or didn't understand what it meant, but like it was cool, like you just wanted to be with them and not just be friends, like you just wanted to hold their hand or spend a lot of time with them or give them a hug, a little kiss on the cheek, that, like, when was that? Be realistic. Think about it. Really, really sit down in your kitchen table or in the toilet, where you can process your deepest thoughts, and think about it. Okay? Because for me, my very, very first crush, I was in first grade. His name was Gerardo, and he was the cutest little thing. And I distinctly remember, and I'm 30 years old, okay? And I distinctly remember his little cute little hair, like comb all perfect and stuff. And we had to wear uniforms, and he was just the cutest thing ever. And like, I remember that I liked him in more ways than trying to be friends with him. So if I could remember that I was 5, 6 years old, what's first grade? 6 years old. Why couldn't my if I remember that at 6 years old I liked this little boy, why can't people know who they like when they're 16, when they're 13, when they're 10, when they understand themselves that that's not their body, that that's not them, that they don't feel comfortable or happy as to what they see in the mirror, um, based on their own emotions. So before we go on and fucking judge people about all these gender roles, about all these like things that are happening to them, I feel like this is one thing that has been happening like forever. It's just that now we're open about it. Now we're allowing that to be seen as normal because it should be normal. Instead, you had a bunch of fucking people back in the old days hiding the fact that they like big girls, hiding the fact that they like men, being in married relationships, and hiding the fact that they would cheat on their wives with men, or that wives would cheat on their husbands with women. And why would we even have to go through that? Like, why can't people just live their life and be happy, and none of this gender role shit that like divides, who we are and who we get to be. Like, just fucking let people be happy, for fuck's sakes. But this is completely out of the episode theme. But I'm just talking about like gender roles and like how we allow, certain things that we see and that we have been so blinded for so long. And I'm gonna admit, like, I take responsibility, and like there are certain things that sometimes I amaze myself on how stupid I sound. And there are things that I just can't change. I can change. I just need to grow up and change. Um, and remind myself constantly, that just because I see that doesn't mean that certain things are a certain way. Okay, because I was brought up that way, or because of the gender roles that society has input in my mind based on what they think should be the right way, or the right way. But if you want to say anything about this episode, please, I beg of all of you, all four of you who are watching this episode, three, because Gotti is only playing it in mute. Just kidding, love you. But just let me know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram, and let me know what you think about all this shenanigans and how life, man. We should just let people be happy. I feel like as long as they're not hurting anyone, molesting anyone, that was kind of wrong, but I mean, like, hurting anyone in like the sense of pedophilia, I'm completely against that, right? But as long as people are not hurting anyone, that should just leave it at that. Then let them be happy. I feel like if you think people are hurting you because they're out and about dressed in a dress and you don't agree with that, that's not hurting you. They're not attacking you. They're not physically or emotionally hurting you. That's just you all up in your head. And you need to change. You need to grow up. You need to see the world with bigger open eyes, and with those what are they called, reflectors or deflectors off or something. Because like life, we should just let people live and let live. I love my painting. I love it. Mwah. Thank you so much to my girlie who gave it to me, or sold it to me. But life, dude, I fucking love it because I was like showing it off to my friend, and he said, "Fuck everything," and I was like, "Live it, like live it up." Live it and fuck everything. So life, you guys, enjoy your life, let live, and you live your life, dude. If you want to fucking dress in a dress and dye your hair and go shave your head or wear makeup and it's not seen as okay, fuck everybody else and fuck everything else and just fucking live life. Just do you, be happy, be blessed. Namaste. And this has been Shenanigans and More. I love you guys. Mwah. And hit me up. Let me know. Till next time.